Today's guest is Sophia from Sophia Sees Beauty, a former product leader at high-growth tech companies who applied the same strategic thinking to YouTube and turned it into a thriving business. After getting laid off from her corporate tech job, she recuperated her full-time income in less than a year by building a luxury beauty channel for women who want to feel luxurious every day.
I was working in the tech industry for over a decade as a product manager. I started my Instagram account and it would be like these super long Instagram stories, but it was super glitchy and I got so frustrated. I was like, forget this. I'm just going to upload this to YouTube because I had already made it. I was so invested in this little 10-minute video.
Yeah.
As soon as I did it, I was like, okay, there's no turning back.
We also break down why she diversified her beauty channel into handbags and lifestyle content when she saw the niche was struggling, and how she thinks about content strategy differently than most beauty creators.
I think a lot of my content was very niche, and some of it was just too niche to really be adding anything to the business. So I made the decision to do fewer videos, but try and make them higher quality and more performative.
If you are in a competitive niche and wondering how to stand out, then this conversation is for you. I'm Erika Vieira, a YouTube strategist who's worked with nearly 2,000 female business owners, creatives, and entrepreneurs over the last decade. This show is about real conversations on what it really takes to grow on YouTube. To learn more about working directly with me and access to my free live YouTube workshop, check out the description below. Ladies, class is in session. Let's talk to Sophia. I am so excited to chat with you. You know how I feel about you. You are so smart. You're so strategic. You handle YouTube like a boss. And I know that my viewers are going to love what you share today. For people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you and what you do on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I like to say that my channel is all about accessible luxury. So I do a mix of luxury beauty, mid-range handbags, and accessible luxury style, targeting the woman who likes to feel beautiful. She likes to feel luxurious. She is interested in products. She's interested in shopping. But like most of us, she doesn't have an unlimited luxury budget. She's looking for things that feel good quality and make her feel luxurious in an accessible way. That's basically like myself. So I'm catering to myself as the target market. So yeah, so the mix of on my channel is mostly beauty, handbags, and style, and predominantly long form.
What brought you to YouTube? Why have a YouTube channel?
I feel like so many things in my life have led up to this moment. Just kind of taking it back to growing up, I've always been oddly obsessed with beauty, skincare, handbags. I'm just one of those people that I've always had these very niche interests. When I was little, I used to make my own skincare. My mom made a little logo for me and I would make little body scrubs. I would host spa nights in my house for my sister and friends, and I would give them facials and I would make all the little masks. I used to watch QVC for fun as a kid. I didn't buy anything. I didn't have a credit card or anything.
Yeah.
I just loved shopping. I just loved to watch them sell things. Like no
Little
matter.
you know, you were like training yourself for what you're doing today, watching that QVC.
Yeah, I just eat, sleep, and breathe these things. I've always enjoyed like fashion and handbag. I grew up with a lot of beautiful, strong women in my life. So there was always a lot of like femininity surrounding me, and it was very much encouraged at a young age. To this day, I love makeup. I love purses. I love fashion and trends and all those things. And I was always that person that would know like the new products that were coming out. Before social media, I would be like reading Allure magazine and like making a list of the best of beauty winners and that kind of stuff. Fast forward for my career, I worked in the tech industry. My background is in business management, information systems, and marketing. I was working in the tech industry for over a decade as a product manager, very nerdy, mostly building like on-demand delivery software, warehousing, fulfillment software, e-commerce, bunch of different types of products. I mostly worked for startups and high growth companies. I've always been someone that has been pretty entrepreneurial and a little bit like, I guess you could call it risk averse. Like I will just try new things. I'll experiment new things. If there's something that I want to do, it doesn't have to be in a career. It could be an activity. Like I just decided I'm going to be a Zumba instructor. Like I'm going to go do this because it was something that I just love to do. And I just give it 100% and go after it. And I think a lot of that comes from working in the tech industry, in the high growth setting around a lot of entrepreneurs. And I've always just really enjoyed creating things, creating products. On the side, obviously, have always had this passion for beauty and style and all things feminine, which is interesting because it's like I was working with mostly men my whole life. So I have this very nerdy side, but also very traditionally feminine side. And then, like a lot of people, COVID hit. And I think a lot of us, we lost a lot of the activities and interests in things that really brought us joy, or maybe our work life changed. A lot of us were working from home. And so for me, that definitely was the case. I lost some of those activities that I enjoyed doing. And so I really leaned into consuming a lot of beauty content, being a part of those communities. I already was consuming the content, was very much enjoying it, but I became even more immersed in that. And I just felt like I had something to say. I've always enjoyed public speaking. I did drama, theater, choir, and everything growing up. I've always loved presenting a persuasive story and opinion in an organized way. And that's like a big part of product management, product development as well, is that storytelling aspect. And so I just thought, like, during that time, I'm going to actually just start an Instagram. It didn't start with YouTube.
So was this around 2020?
Yeah, it was like 2020, 2021. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically my, what we call MVP in the tech world, your minimum viable product, to be like, here's the lowest effort thing I can do to get to where I need to be. I started my Instagram account and I just started like posting things on my stories and my feed. This was before like Reels really kind of blew up as a way to like grow on social media and your online presence. What happened is I loved sharing my thoughts, as many of us do. And it would be like these super long Instagram stories. I'm talking about like whatever the max was that you were able to post, that's what I was posting. Because in reality, I really just wanted to make a long form video, but I was doing it in an easy way. And then back then they had IGTV. So you could upload a 10-minute video to your Instagram feed and it would pop up in this little, I don't think they have it anymore. I think it was their little experiment to maybe like test and see if they could do longer form. But I was making these little like less than 10-minute videos, but it was super glitchy and it would take forever to upload. And one day I made a 10-minute video reviewing all of my Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes.
Okay.
And it's still up. And I got so frustrated. I was like, forget this. I'm just going to upload this to YouTube because I had already made it. I was so invested in this little 10-minute video.
Yeah.
And I just like uploaded it. I guess I already had an account that I had made maybe a little bit earlier. And I was like, I'll just upload this. So I uploaded it and it's still there. It's still my first video. You can still go watch it.
Oh, it is.
It's a
we're gonna pull them up here so we can just
pull it
see.
up. It's still a decent video. It got some views.
There we go. Let's see.
There she is.
Yeah, that's it. 4 years ago.
Baby Sophia on the internet.
How funny. That's it. 4 years ago. That was your first video, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, and it was vertical.
Yeah.
Look at that vertical. Like, there you go.
I'm literally like, turn on the camera in my living room. Why is it so overexposed? I don't know.
Well, it was your first video, so.
But you can see I quickly learned because the next video is in horizontal view. And,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's my Guerlain lipstick case review.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. So talk to me about this here. Your first, few videos here on YouTube, making that switch from Instagram to YouTube.
As soon as I did it, I was like, okay, there's no turning back.
Really?
Because I'm just one of those people, like when I decide to do something, I'm going to do it 110%. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I already did the MVP. I already knew that I enjoyed making the content. I already had things to say. So I said, okay, all I need to do is let's make the next video and see how it goes. And then I make the next video, then I make the next video. And I didn't worry too much about making it super perfect. I made it as well as I could for the
At the
time.
time.
Know? Yeah, just like I thought it was good, you know, like looking back, it's like, okay, my videos are way better now, obviously.
Of
Like,
course, yeah.
but you kind of have to be okay with like being cringe in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and sucking
Mm-hmm.
because you're not going to be perfect unless for some reason you have some like background in film or production or whatever.
Exactly.
Like I still film with my iPhone in
That's
natural
crazy.
light. Like
That's crazy.
you don't need like a super fancy setup to create engaging and entertaining content that resonates with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
And my channel was monetized in less than 2 months.
What did that look like when you first started? Did you bring people over from your Instagram following, or did you find that people naturally found you through the algorithm on YouTube?
It was more so the latter. There were definitely some people like I didn't have a lot of Instagram followers and still to this day I don't.
Mhm,
I use Instagram more as a way to share my stories and engage with my most loyal followers slash subscribers. So there
mhm,
were definitely some people that like came over to YouTube and they followed me, but it was choosing the products that I knew as a member of the niche community I would want to hear about. I really just created the videos that I wanted to see about the products that I knew we as the community would be interested in, especially back then. Search was very powerful. Product search and just single product reviews was a really good way to get that not massive growth, right? But a good initial boost to be able to get those watch hours that I needed to monetize the channel. So within 2 months, I remember I posted that Guerlain video like around holiday. And then by Valentine's Day, my channel was monetized.
Is there a certain video that helped take your channel to that next level? Do you remember, or was it just pretty consistent at the beginning?
It's pretty consistent. If you scroll down
Mhm.
one row, you'll see that Dior spring video.
Mhm, mhm,
That was the first one where I actually got like a decent number of views. I remember
mhm.
I filmed that real quick and then I went on like a little trip that weekend and like my phone, at least to me, it felt like my phone was like blowing up from the comments, like, you know, all 20 comments or whatever
Yeah,
I was getting because
yeah.
I was getting instead of a couple hundred views, I was getting a couple thousand views. And it was like, oh, wow, okay. Like people are really interested in this product. And I was getting really good feedback about, you know, oh, I love that you filmed this in natural light. I love how realistic it looks. I like how wearable the looks are that you created. That was the first moment where I was like, oh, okay, like reviewing hot new products and reviewing them quickly
Mhm.
is what's going to help boost my channel, at least in these beginning stages.
You mentioned that you were working in corporate. Were you still working in corporate as you were creating your content and that this content was a side fun thing? Because now this is what you do full time. What happened there where it went from this side project hustle type hobby thing to now like truly a full time business?
In the beginning was kind of like, I don't know if I would consider it a hobby, but I was like, oh, this is my little mini side project, you know? And then as I was very consistent, just posting, like I posted every week.
From that first Pat McGrath video, at that point, did you make that decision then to go onto YouTube and say, I'm going to be really consistent? And was your mindset around the fact that this is or could be a business?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I'm very delusional. Like you need to be Delulu. You need to be
Oh,
like, yeah,
yeah.
this is going to be great. I wasn't thinking my channel's going to blow up and go viral. I didn't think that at all. I knew I needed to be consistent. I knew I needed to like get the videos out there and that would be important. But straight from the beginning, I was like, oh, this could be something. And you know, your family will be like, are you sure you really want to do that? And I'm like, yes. Like I just gotta know what I want to do. And if I stop liking it, then I'll just stop doing it, you know?
Mhm. How did it go from being, while you're working in corporate America, side hustle to
Mhm.
your full-time business now?
It took about 3 years to really build up the channel to the point where I was getting consistent views, I was
Mhm.
generating consistent income, not enough to be a full-time job, I will emphasize that, like, it took a long time to get to that point, but it's not like I was making the same amount in the channel that I was from, like, a regular any regular job really that would like be able to you know, pay my bills and my rent and all those things. But I was very consistent in building it up. You know, I worked from home, so it was a lot easier. I didn't have to spend that time commuting. I could wake up in the morning, like film a video, edit it at night. My editing was like very basic. I'm not going to lie, it was extremely time consuming for anybody who's thinking about going into this. Like bye bye to TV, like bye bye to any of your like downtime that you have in the evening. Like every single free moment that I had, whether it was like in the evening after work, after dinner or whatever, or on the weekends, I was editing videos, filming videos, testing products. I'd be up until 2 in the morning editing to get the video live the next day. I don't want to downplay the amount of work it really takes to produce this stuff, even when it's like a little bit lower production value. I was really building it up. And then it got to a point where I was like, no, I really would like to, in the next couple of years, take this channel full time, like take this business full time. This is something I really enjoy doing. And I liked my regular job. I love being a product manager, but there is something incredibly fulfilling about building a product for yourself. You are the product, the channel and the business is the product rather than building a product for somebody else who's kind of scrutinizing everything that you do. You need to get approvals for it and everything. I moved across the country, and a big part of that was to be able to have more space. And I have my own filming room here with like lots of natural light. And I just knew that I would need to make some life changes if I wanted to have this kind of lifestyle and if I wanted to really be able to grow my business. And so that was one of the decisions I made. I was like, I don't think that I can keep filming these videos out of my little living room. I feel like I'm like living on top of everything. I want a more professional space. That was a big decision for me to make and like one of the best decisions I've ever made. And then
Was
about,
moving?
yeah, absolutely.
Why? Because of the space, really, and being able to film?
Yeah, because of the space, the cost of living.
Affordability, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Dallas. It's sunny. I have so much room here to store all my makeup and my handbags, as silly as that. I need space to like
Yeah,
store all this stuff.
yeah.
Sunny almost every day. I film in natural light. I have floor to ceiling windows. The taxes are more favorable. It's a bigger market. There are more brands here. The shopping is better here. I film a
Mhm.
lot of shopping vlogs. We have every store here. Some of the highest grossing beauty counters in the country are at the mall where I consistently vlog. We have one of the best
Mm.
performing Neiman Marcus is based here. And there's just like more events here. Vid Summit, it's based in Dallas. There's just like a lot going on here and a lot of growth. I absolutely love Boston. It's like one of my favorite places in the world, but I just felt like I needed to make some strategic decisions to help set me up for that next stage in life.
I want to take a minute to thank my sponsor for this video, Kiln. Kiln is an organization of co-working spaces all throughout the western half of the United States. This is where I'm filming right now, and if you happen to have a location near you, you're going to want to check it out. It's a place that you can film your content. If you are looking for a dedicated space outside of your own home, an office space that also has a benefit of being a community. There's so many amazing community events. There's the space itself is absolutely beautiful, and for me, it has been an absolute game changer for my business and for my YouTube channel. For me to be able to leave the house where sometimes things are quite noisy, quite crazy with the kids, with the gardener, with construction happening next door. It is so nice to know that I have this nice, beautiful, clean, quiet space that I'm able to work and I'm able to film. So thank you so much for Kiln for sponsoring this portion of the video. If you're curious about a co-working space for yourself, check out the links in the description below.
You moved to Dallas not because you had family there or any connection to it
I have
whatsoever.
no friends or family.
You looked all over the map and you said, I want to do this YouTube thing. I want to do it full time. Where would be the best place for me to live?
Yeah, that's warm.
Wow. That's warm. Yeah.
I don't like warm weather. And I travel a lot. We have 2 airports here.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Very strategic decision. I didn't realize that's why you're there specifically.
Yeah. And I mean, from like a personal perspective as well, like I just wanted to live somewhere warmer, more affordable. There are a lot of things that went into it, but definitely just thinking about like, hey, what's the life I'm trying to create for myself here? How do I set myself up for success? I don't have any family here. I didn't have any friends, but I've always been very independent. I'm very close with my family, but I've always lived away from them. If I don't like it, I'll just move back.
Yeah.
And then to answer your question, about 6 or 7 months living here, I was working my corporate job. I was still remote.
And they were fine with you moving. They didn't care. You worked completely remotely.
That is correct. Yeah, because my teams were like all over the place. Like we were already all over the place. So it was for us to be able to all go into an office. So it didn't like change my job or my productivity at all. But working, especially these past like 2 to 3 years post 2021, working for these high growth tech companies, it's very volatile. There were a lot of layoffs across all these companies over the past couple of years. And the company I was working for had a massive layoff. They laid off both of my team. And like about 6 or 7 months into me moving here. And so when that happened, it's always a weird feeling when you get laid off. It's like, I had got promoted the year prior. It wasn't like I didn't like it or I wasn't performing well. It was just like, cut you off.
That's corporate America for you.
Yeah. And anything like that can happen at any time. And I feel like I learned through the pandemic, like nothing is forever. Like you have to like roll with the punches and constantly be adapting. Everything is changing so much now with AI and all that. But I got laid off and it was this very strange feeling of, first off, what do I do with myself? But also I felt like it was a blessing. I was like, this is a sign. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. So on the one hand, it felt very scary in a way because it was like, oh, I don't have that security blanket of my job. But at the same time, maybe this is what I've been waiting for. This is my sign that I need to do what I'm meant to do, what I enjoy doing. And that I think like the first week or 2 after getting laid off, I kind of took a breather. Like my mom came to visit me and I like took a little bit of a breather and I basically like just made videos for 2 weeks. It was just like, oh, this is what it feels like to just be able to like create things and not have to worry about your like morning stand up or the rest of the work that I need to get done. And it felt incredibly freeing. And, it was very daunting, but at the same time, I'm like one of those people, like I perform under pressure. Like pressure makes diamonds. Like I need that pressure of like, this is you, like you need to make this happen or you're done. Like, not you're done, but you know what I mean? Like, you need to pay your bills, girl. Like, you need to figure this out.
It's all on you, 100% on you. No, nobody is rescuing you right now.
And I know some people are afraid of that. I thrive off of that. Like, I was already so obsessed with my channel and my business. And that's how a lot of entrepreneurs are. And you kind of have to be delusional and obsessed with what you do sometimes to succeed in these areas. I think I like to live on the edge a little bit. Like I just love getting strategic and figuring out like what the next step is. And so I learned more in the 3 months that preceded that layoff. I learned more in those 3 months than I did in the 3 years that I had been running my channel. I went to more events. I attended more of like your boot camp calls. I had time for that. I spoke to more YouTubers. I made friends with other creators that I could learn from. I did other learning resources. I, of course, experimented with content. I know a lot of people, they're nervous about taking things full time. Like, you really need that time to not just create the content, but to be strategic because I I realized that in order to recuperate the salary that I had at my other job, I would essentially need to, I think it was quadruple my channel size. In my head, I was thinking I need to quadruple my subscriber account, but that wasn't the case. I just needed to triple or quadruple the business, which can be done if you are more strategic about the content that you create.
How long ago was that?
That was the summer of 2024.
Almost 2 years ago at this point. You were forced to do this full time because
Yeah.
how did you very specifically change your strategy and even your day-to-day habits and schedule? What did that look like after you had that little break with your mom and you're okay,
Yeah.
I gotta put my big girl panties on and I've got to make this work?
I think the simplest way to explain it is I became even more data obsessed.
Mm.
I already had to do this for the products that I was building in my corporate job. So it was natural for me to be able to really spend a lot of time looking at performance. I don't think it was like changing my schedule or my routine. I still feel like I could be a lot more disciplined in the way that I like organize my time. I'm a little bit chaotic, but I think it really was like where I decided to spend my time. I had a big realization that I think a lot of my content was very niche, and some of it was just too niche to really be adding anything to the business. Like, it was nice videos for the community to watch that perhaps people enjoyed, but they were not contributing to the business. So I made the decision to do fewer videos, but try and make them higher quality and more performative.
Mhm.
So instead of doing 3 or 4 videos a week, I do 2 videos a week.
Were you
And
doing 3 or 4 videos when you were working your corporate job?
yep,
Oh, you
I was
were.
getting myself ragged, busting out
Wow.
videos one after the another, and I had very, like, tunnel vision around what the next video would be because I was doing a lot of, like, new makeup releases.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to think that it was a very easy formula for me when I was in my corporate job because it's kind of the same video over and over.
Mhm.
And if you're experienced in reviewing makeup and you know your formulas and you know your products, it's very easy to be able to like test something and make a video if it's the same format and the same thumbnail like over
Mhm.
and over.
Mhm.
So I didn't have to spend as much time previously thinking about what is the next video topic I'm gonna do. I'm like, I already know what the next video topic it's gonna be. It's gonna be the Dior spring collection. Like that's coming out. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make the very best video I can as quickly as I can and post that out. And
So you can
so
get the next one out and the next one out.
yeah, I was like a video factory for
Mhm.
3 years,
Mhm.
doing it all on my own, 3 to 4 videos a week, or at least, like, as many as I could, like,
Yeah.
sometimes it might be 2 or 1, but on average, I did 3 to 4 videos a week for 3 years, and
Wow.
so it was a big deal for me to consciously say, I am gonna do fewer videos, but I'm gonna be much more intentional about what they are, what the goal is, what's like the message and the value for the customer. I spend a lot of time really trying to understand what my viewer slash customer, what she likes, what are her concerns, what are the things she's struggling with, like what are the things that she finds entertaining, like really getting to the root of what is it that interests her and focusing everything around that. And I really think that when you have that viewer centric brand, it really shines through. Part of that is making higher quality videos. is like beauty is very visual. Show B-roll, use natural light, like show before and afters. What would I want to see if I was spending $200 on a foundation? What's the kind of thing that I would want to see and hear from someone who's supposed to be an expert, you know, in order for me to trust that person and also to want to come back and watch more. I felt like the videos that a lot of
Where
the
was that part here? Because I kind of want to show people like where that really distinction happened. And the other thing I want to know too, Sophia, is
yeah.
what made you come to that realization that it was really more about quality over quantity?
I think it was talking to other creators in other niches, like getting out your bubble, because everybody in my niche was doing this. And like, no shame to anybody, but everybody was doing the same thing. The community came to expect the same types of videos and edited in the very same way. And so it does kind of set you up for a scenario where, like, if other people have already reviewed that product and all the videos are kind of the same, the viewers are not then going to watch your video if
It's
you
a
post.
commodity.
Yes, like
It's
you
commoditized.
you have to be the first person on the internet now to get views on like a makeup review. And like, and it's like, are you really testing that product if you're posting it the day that it went live? I don't really want to spend, at least I think, especially as the economy has changed, I don't think the typical luxury beauty lover wants to spend, $200 on a foundation or $60 on a blush, whatever your price point is. I don't think she wants to spend that just like out of the blue. I think that people value a more informed opinion and testing the products more and more as time has gone on versus the hype of constant newness. They're exhausted. And I was exhausted as well. And so I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted. You're exhausted. Let's take it back a little bit and think about what else could be entertaining here, So,
Where did this happen?
I would say around that time, probably that looking at,
Okay.
what was that, 2 years ago? I
Yeah.
don't know if you will necessarily see it immediately in my content because it was
It's more
definitely,
subtle.
I think a big turning point for me, Erica, was when I realized I am an entertainer. Like, people come to my channel, yes, to hear about makeup, but why? Because they like makeup, because makeup is a hobby for them. It's something they enjoy. It is just like me. It's something that makes them feel luxurious. It is an interest for them. It's not like a necessity. And it is helpful to hear a review, but especially as people are becoming, more choosy about what they buy, more discerning, it's not all about shopping. Like, they're coming to my channel because they find it entertaining. That's how they like to spend. That's what they listen to when they're folding laundry or during their commute. And so as I talked to other creators, that their whole mindset was around the entertainment, the storytelling, the quality of the video, it made me rethink what I do in a different way, and really think about how can I make this entertaining, useful, helpful, authentic, and trustworthy.
So when you say quality, because I feel like when people hear quality, they think like, oh, I got to get out a new camera, and you're still filming with your iPhone. So what exactly do you mean by quality and making the videos that you were doing before, but more quality?
Yeah, so a couple of things for me in my niche. Like, the first thing is focusing, testing the products for longer and spending a longer time planning the video and like all of the speaking points. Like, I'll spend time like comparing ingredients lists and really thinking about what's the best way that I can describe this so that it really hits home. Because I noticed that like a lot of viewers, they get very overwhelmed because there's just so many products and they don't have as many products as me. I think some channels, they're speaking to this like very niche viewer who like has bought a lot of things, and it's like they don't know what that product is. Like, talk about what that is in a way that they're going to understand it, and it's and not just talk about it, show it to them. So like, my content is very B-roll heavy. I have like an entire B-roll repository of all the different products that I test and talk about on my channel. And I think that having those like quality visuals so that you can like show them what you mean, not just like tell them what you mean,
So
is
that's
very
some of your,
important.
yeah. That is one of the things I know because I've worked with a lot of channels, and you're really good about all the B-roll, all the application, just the extra work that it takes to showcase the products and not just talk about them.
People notice. Let me tell you, people notice as soon as I switched to, getting more help with my editing and really investing in it, the comments just started flooding through. I love how engaging this is, or I love the humor you added in this. I love these visuals, love the editing. There's always going to be people who comment and they say, I miss the old Sophia. I just want you to like sit in front of the camera and like talk for an hour, or I missed it when you were in your living room and those types of things, or you're trying too hard. But when I see things like that, number one, if someone tells you you're trying too hard, you're probably doing just enough. Number two, and I told this to and one of my friends that's in your boot camp, and I was like, who was going through a similar thing, and I was like, let the truth of the data set you free.
Yes.
Like, look at the data. Like, is the retention up? If the retention is up, that means they were entertained and they enjoyed the video. Maybe some people said they didn't like it. It's not their style of humor. That's okay. When you walk into a room of people, are you instantly friends with everybody? No, you're not. It's okay. Some people are going to complain. People don't like change. And you should, of course, like look at the feedback and take that and internalize it and think about it. But like at the end of the day, the data, your analytics are going to show you what's actually performing. And that's going to help drive every decision moving. Really just spent a lot more time doing that.
What were the numbers you were looking at to validate the decision that you made in a time where you needed to take things to the next level because you are now supporting yourself fully with your YouTube channel? And instead of creating more content, you created less, which I think is really interesting. What were you looking at to determine whether or not that was the best decision at the time?
I mean, at the end of the day, like bottom line revenue, like is the channel generating like the same or more income with fewer videos? It became clear to me which videos needed to be cut. I really wanted to maximize like views per video. I felt like I would put out all these videos and everything would be like diluted. And I was like, no, I want to try and get more views on one video. And I also wanted to optimize more for the first time viewer. So now you get more data. You didn't back then when I made this change, but now the YouTube Studio, it does give you a better view of what your new viewers are watching, your casual viewers, your regular viewers. It lets you see a lot more clearly. This video is like appealing more to a newer viewer audience. And if you want to appeal to that audience and you want to get the subscriber and you want to acquire that viewer, customer, however you like to think about it, you kind of need to blow them away at this point on YouTube. You need to make a video that is so impressive. They're like, oh my gosh, I need to see every video from this girl. So I had that mindset and looked at views, click-through rate, and bottom line revenue. And it wasn't easy to let go of some of these videos. One of my most popular series, which I call Pass or Yes, I would do it every other week. I basically would go through like all of the newest makeup that was coming out. And it was kind of like a reaction commentary video about the new things that were coming out. I think for a lot of my regular viewers, that was like one of their favorite videos. But at the end of the day, I had 2 years worth of data of doing that series twice a month for 2 years. It didn't make any money. It didn't grow my channel at all. Those are the two big things. Like it didn't bring it didn't the view you would get a decent amount of views within the 3 days it was posted, but once that after 3 days it's completely irrelevant. They don't care. It attracts this it really only attracts this very niche viewer who like wants like new all the time. And I'm focusing more on the person who wants to come along on the journey with me, learn about makeup, not buy everything immediately. Let's actually talk about the things that are like seriously top shelf luxury makeup.
So the Pastor Yes basically was a video of just everything that's new in the moment. Like right here. See, I see this was like a year ago, right?
A lot of creators were also doing this.
Okay.
So everybody else is doing this.
Yeah.
I suppose I have my own personality to offer, right? And I enjoyed making them, and it's a low effort video to make, but it was just, okay, this isn't getting me anywhere. I need to make more evergreen videos because that's how you grow your channel. Here's another point I will make. When I was just chugging along, when I had my corporate job, I would look at all these short-term metrics. It'd be this like, oh, yay, 1 out of 10. Like this video would always be 1 out of 10. It's hell yeah, 1 out of 10. But when I actually looked at the data longer term, it was like at the bottom. They were like the worst videos, like ultimate lipstick ranking or like the very best blushes. Yeah. And the thing is, like, what I recommend to other creators is try and find the videos that are like at the center of that Venn diagram of here is what your core audience is interested in, what they will enjoy, but then also what's something that's maybe a little bit more clickable for a new time beauty lover or browser. Maybe it's a popular brand like Chanel or Dior. Maybe it's like, people love best of the best, worst of the worst, What are some things, and it doesn't have to be every video, but like when you're intentionally saying, I'm going to make a video that's engineered towards growth, you do need to expand your mindset a little bit to think what's going to get me those initial clicks from the regular audience, but also what would other people want to watch?
That's the thing with YouTube is like this dual purpose you have to think about for every single video. Or some videos are hub content where they're not necessarily going to grow the channel, but they're going to serve a different purpose, like attracting your existing viewers and leading to sales and affiliates. A lot of times it is that dual purpose of like appealing to the existing people, but also making sure that it's going to appeal to new people. I think what I've seen a lot in the beauty community, especially the people that have been around for a while, they're not thinking exactly the way that you are, very strategically and outside of their whole world and thinking, what do I need to do to get out there beyond my existing people? And what you're doing with the Pastor Yes was, you said this yourself, you said low effort. And I think that's what happens. It's a lot easier to just say, oh, here are a bunch of the new products that are out there. And here's some of the ones I have. And I'll give you a quick review.
Right.
It's going beyond that.
Basically, what I ended up doing there for anybody who is going through this as well, and you teach this in your boot camp as well, Erika, like here are the different videos that have different purposes. I basically like reframe that in like my tech nerd kind of way. And I reframed it to myself as like, this is a viewer funnel or a customer funnel, right? Every company has it. It's not about giving up on your viewers and like abandoning them. Like, I missed this video. Please do it again. It's just like, okay, I understand that. But like, it's about making different types of content for different types of viewers. So at the top of your funnel, you're going to have your growth videos, 5 best and 5 worst from Dior Beauty. It's like one of my best performing videos ever. It's very simple. Everybody knows what Dior is. And the products are very viral. It appeals to a wide audience and age group. And then as you get further down the funnel, you're going to have your hub videos, your series. Like for me, it's monthly favorites, the Luxe Edit. Like these are things that the regular or casual viewer kind of knows to expect from you on a monthly basis. And over time, they know, oh, I really like that style of video that she does. They're less geared towards views, more geared towards affiliate sales and product education. Because like my channel at the end of the day, it's a shopping channel, like which we'll talk more about that, I guess, later. But, and then further down the funnel, I have my weekly live streams, I have a newsletter, and then at the very tip is the membership.
Mhm.
I basically took Pass or Yes and turned it into a live show. So
Mhm.
now I do that at least a month for on my live streams. So it's way more fun to gab about these products as a community.
Mhm.
Like these women show up every week and we're all friends and we love to talk about these products. I have more fun. They
Yeah.
have more fun. And then everybody else can watch the replay if they want to catch up. That's something that appeals to that very niche regular viewer. And yes, there's going to be some people who want the old version, and I'm sorry for that. But
Yeah.
like, this is really the best format for that type of content. So sometimes it's just about reframing it in a different way for that specific viewer.
You basically did the Pass or Yes and you turned it into a live show. So it's not like you're not doing it anymore. You're
Yeah.
just now doing it live, which we know that lives aren't necessarily gonna grow your channel. They're most likely
Right.
not, but they're really, really great for that community aspect of it. So,
Definitely.
how it's been your experience now having these consistent live streams? You do them every Wednesday.
Well, I think that like it is a big time commitment.
Hmm.
If I do think it's best if you can commit to a weekly show because people know when to show up. People know Sophia's going live on this night. They know this is Sophia night.
Hmm.
They're showing up to hang out with you.
And you get a lot of people showing up.
I mean, yeah, we get usually between 200 and 250 if it's a really popular show, like if
So
it's around.
all these views here though are post the live, the 6,500.
Yeah, people watch it. They like
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Wow.
it's not they might not make it through the entire live, but it's there for the people who enjoy it, and if they enjoy it, then it brings me joy. I
Hmm.
think that the live streams, while they can take up a lot of time, and I understand not everybody, everyone has life commitments and they might not have the time to specifically do a live stream as
Yeah.
that thing. I do them for a couple of reasons. Number one, I just enjoy it. I love public speaking. I love hanging out with them. I think it is a good way to continue to engage those hardcore beauty lovers.
Hmm.
It's like, hey, you want to hear my first impressions? Come to the live stream.
Yeah.
You want to play around with makeup? Come to the live stream. You want to talk about the new stuff? Come to the live stream because that's where the crazy beauty lovers, that is where we congregate. And I do other shows too that are like more handbag or maybe like trends focused, but the makeup ones do tend to be the most popular.
Hmm.
um, I think it is a really great way for me to understand and learn from my audience because they share with me what products they're interested in. They're telling me we're voting in the Pass or Yes, like Pass or Yes. Are you interested in this? Oh, wow. Everyone's interested in this. I know what shade is going to sell out first.
Yeah.
Like, I know what products are going to sell out. I know what's going to be popular. They tell me what they're interested in. And so it allows me to better serve that audience and to engage them. So they get the entertainment, but I'm learning from them. And
Yeah, and
it's
you're getting a lot of really good feedback and data that you can now use in your content and how to better serve them, like you said. Like
right.
you have this data set that and just this insight that brands don't even have half the time, you know?
And like we do live giveaways most weeks. So sometimes I tell brands, I'm like, if you don't want to do a sponsorship or whatever, would you be willing to donate your new product, for the giveaway? You can get some exposure for your brand and then I get to give out a present to one lucky person in the giveaway. It's a great way for me to talk about new products that I'm enjoying. If I have coupon codes or if there's a sale or anything like that. Like these are my most loyal subscribers. They are incredibly generous by shopping through my links during a lot of these lives. I can't say that like doing the live stream itself is going to generate a lot of income or it's really not going to grow your channel. But if these are your most loyal people and customers, it's like, yeah, I do want to spoil them with content and giveaways and my thoughts and, reading all of their comments. So at the end of the day, I think it's like an investment in that core
Community.
viewer and customer base and community. Yeah.
I also think, and it goes back to the first thing that you said, you couldn't be doing this. You do work really hard. You put a lot of content out. You're doing this is that if you didn't genuinely love this. You were
Yeah.
doing
You
this
have
with
to
your
like it.
sisters when you were growing up, right? Or your sister and your mom. And this is why YouTube, it's so important to lean into your own authentic self because
Yes.
you're able to do these things.
Yeah.
If this is the topic you weren't in love with, you wouldn't want to sit there for 2 hours talking to people about it. It's always about going back to what you love to do. And this is the perfect marriage of, what you love to do and a really solid work ethic of willing to put in that time and energy and investment into your communities. One of the things I want to touch on is the way that I know you is because you joined my boot camp and then now we work together one-on-one. I love working with you one-on-one. What made you decide to enroll in a boot camp and then hire a coach, hire me to be part of your team? We've been working together for a little while. What's your reasoning behind that?
I just think that every professional athlete has a professional coach
Mm,
and you got to spend money to make money. Like if you're just, oh, I don't want to take that trip. I don't want to meet those people. Then you're not going to meet anybody. You're not going to learn from anybody. If you don't hire people to help you, you're probably not going to save time. If you don't seek out the right advice, you might never get the right advice. That's my mindset. I would say the point that kind of made me go over the edge was I found myself like exactly a year, I would say,
mhm,
or so. I was doing it full time. And I was like, I'm going to do everything that I can to get myself as far as I can with just myself, and learning from other creators, going to events and the resources that I had. And I felt like that was great. I felt like I was doing well, but I wanted to do better. I
mhm,
wanted to know how can I get that next level up because I'm never really satisfied with where I'm at. Like I've always want to figure out like how can I make better content for my viewer
mm,
and do more of things that I'm interested in. I felt like I was at a point where I was like, okay, I'm doing well, but I really needed one-on-one feedback. I needed specific feedback and the right feedback. There's a lot of advice out there on the
mm,
internet, but everybody has different channels, different niches, and the type of business, like somebody who does like Mr. Beast style entertainment
mhm.
videos, like a lot of those really big people on YouTube, the way that they create content and their business strategy is very different than mine. At the time of filming this podcast, I have a little over 70,000 subscribers, but my goal last year was to recoup my salary. I've already surpassed that goal. You don't
Mhm.
need to have a big channel to have a successful business. I felt like I wasn't really getting the right advice for my niche. That's why I approached you because you've worked with so many other women across like different female focused niches, beauty and style being one of them. I had over the past couple of months diversified my channel from solely beauty to beauty and handbags and wanted to do more style. And I just felt like I needed to hear from somebody who had done it before because I appreciate people's feedback and opinions, but I'm sorry, if you haven't done it before, I don't really care what you have to say. If you haven't built that successful business, if you haven't done it, you're just throwing out an opinion. How much am I really going to like take that advice? And
Mhm.
so you had hundreds of data sets across however many people you've worked with. And
Mhm.
to me, that seemed exactly what I needed at the time.
How has it helped your content strategy working together?
You have pushed me to try new things that I wouldn't have thought to do, especially doing more like trend focused videos and more style focused videos or just formats that have performed well for other similar niches or creators that you work with. Oh, I've never seen this video because I don't watch these channels because I just watch beauty or whatever it may be. there are some times where I thought, I don't know if that'll work, or no, they don't like to watch those kinds of things. And I feel like that's why I signed up with you, to be pushed out of my comfort zone and try new things. I feel like most of the time I do what you tell me to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, every single video, every thumbnail, every title is an experiment. If it doesn't perform well, it's like, just move on to the next thing. You understand that it's not just about going viral, it's about the quality viewer. And if you're going to have a channel that's more focused on shopping and affiliate sales, the type of content and thumbnails that you are doing are going to be a little bit different. I think that you have a lot of good advice and experience from the business side as well on how to manage that, or hiring. Who should I hire so that I have more time to make videos? Like, just so many different things. It's a very lonely job. And when I look back to my jobs in the corporate world, I always had a mentor. At least for me, that's something that I really need as a very collaborative, creative person.
What I really enjoy is we're both very strategic. Obviously, it's what I do. I do strategy, and
Yeah.
you really enjoyed that part of it too. So our conversations are really around the strategy behind every single video. Like every single video, when we talk about it and we put it on the content calendar, it is super intentional with the purpose behind it. I enjoy doing that with you, and I get the sense that you like that too.
Yeah, I love it. I love having somebody to collaborate with. And sometimes, yeah, like I'll be working and I'll hear in the back of my head your voice, and it's like, okay, make sure that the colors are cohesive on this thumbnail. Like, I know Erica's going to be like, why'd you put this bag in the thumbnail? Pretty much everything you say now I can kind of predict. So I am learning and retaining the feedback.
You mentioned you were pivoting your channel and diversifying your content. How did the coaching help you in that process?
I started pivoting my channel before the coaching, and it just so happened to work out. And then that's when I realized I think I need somebody to help guide me a little bit more in this more diversified approach. Because a little bit of background first for the people who are listening, I was strictly a beauty channel, a luxury beauty channel. But I have noticed that the interest in makeup and beauty in general on YouTube has definitely gone down over the past few years. Some of that has gone over to short form. I think some people are just not consuming as much. I think part of it also is that the content that's there isn't resonating with the audience at this time. And so I didn't want to give up on that. I wasn't trying to like completely pivot my channel, but my hypothesis was that, okay, this viewer, she likes beauty. What else does she like? There's other stuff she likes to shop for. There's other things that she enjoys. So what am I passionate about? What is the story I want to tell? And what do I have a lot of knowledge about already that I can bring to my channel? And my hypothesis was that she would also enjoy that type of shopping content. You just got to make sure it's like within her price point and sort of interest area. I'm not going to start talking about like fitness or whatever. It just seems too different, for example. So for me, it was handbags. I know a lot about handbags. I already have been a huge handbag collector. I follow like every runway. I would say just as much as makeup, I was always consuming handbag content on YouTube. In fact, I actually started watching YouTube with handbag content, not makeup, oddly enough. It's something that I have a lot of knowledge and passion about. Super stupid niche interest, but that's what I like. What can I say? I love handbags. And so I started experimenting with that and being a lot more intentional about it. And I actually had I don't know if I want to say viral, but you call it a shooting star. Boot
Yeah,
camp.
shooting star.
A year before, like back when I was living in Boston in my living room, I filmed a handbag video. When it first launched, it got like no views. And then after like 3 months, it just took off and started like the algorithm just decided to push it out because it picked up on a trend. And I remember I was talking to somebody at a conference and they were looking at that video and I was like, oh yeah, that's like a random video but like, I don't really do handbags. And he said, what do you think it is about this video and this thumbnail that did so well? Why do you think this resonated so much with this audience on YouTube? And that really got me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Time I was so focused on what I was doing on my beauty videos that I didn't even notice that video was blowing up at the time because I had done it 3 months prior. So I basically was like, let me see if I can recreate the success of that video and see if I can get somewhere with this. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I started to slowly integrate like more handbag content. It's taken a while, but over the past, I guess it's been a little over a year now, it has gotten to the point where half my content is beauty, half my content is handbags and style. I would say like the affiliate, like the sales numbers, what people are interested in actually spending money on is about even as well, which is kind of crazy. But going back to your question, when you do this, you're fraught with so many like identity, like you're just kind of in an identity crisis because you're just like, do I have a split audience? Should I keep doing this? Should I start? I remember I was asking you, like, should I start a separate channel
Like
just for handbags? Because that is what the YouTube gurus will tell you. They'll be like, you gotta start a separate channel. You absolutely cannot talk about makeup and handbags in one. That's what they will tell you. They would never be telling me to do shopping vlogs. They'd be like, oh, that didn't get any views. Don't ever do that again. The recommendations out there are to do basically the same video format over and over and over and over again, which doesn't necessarily engage people and encourage them to like, shop the things you're talking about. I felt like working with you were able to help me make sense of the data and really have a more clear pathway on how my brand would be presented overall in the content strategy and not panicking about my identity on YouTube.
What do you find most valuable in working with a coach?
I think constant feedback, constant quality feedback. Like you need to get feedback to get better. It's way better than when you get those like annual reviews in the corporate world. And it's like, oh, end of the year. Here's what you need to do better. Guess what? You don't get a promotion. At least with this, it's every single week you're telling me, here's kind of what you could have done better on this video, or here's how we can change up this thumbnail, or I want you to try this video. And it's something I never would have thought of. I know it sounds like pretty simple, but I don't know if everybody out there understands like how hard it really is to get that consistent feedback from somebody who actually understands the data and what strategies perform well.
I think it's interesting how you say that other YouTube gurus, there's a lot of men out there and they don't really understand the space. And you say how they'd be like, oh, don't vlog or don't do this. I always feel like when I'm working with somebody, you also have to remember they're a human being, right? And so much of the content and the success of the channel, yes, it's important to get the views and be growing, but so much of the success of the channel relies on the creator continuing to want to do this long term. And the thing that I find is that I get people a lot of times that come to me, join my boot camp, work with me, is that they just can't stand their content anymore. They can't stand their audience or they can't stand what they're doing. Any opportunity I see where it's a win-win, just because something isn't getting a ton of views, say the vlogs, it doesn't mean there's no value to it, because the value could be in the fact that you're out there getting out of your house and experiencing life and being able to turn that into content and somehow interacting with people in person or at the store. And that brings you renewed life and maybe some creativity. And maybe it's not necessarily going to get a ton of views, but it's for that hub content, for that viewer that's going to connect with you in a way that they wouldn't if you're sitting behind your camera, at home. And then a third perspective is that we have found, and I found this with other clients, is that certain types of videos can lend themselves really nicely to your bottom line. And vlogs, we have found that, oh, wow, people want to shop along with you. Even though maybe on a surface level, if you're going to someone, you're like, here, should I do this? Like, well, that one only got 4,000 views as opposed to your normal 18,000 or whatever. Yes, you could say, oh, don't do that. But when you actually really go under the hood and you understand this world and you understand the whole purpose behind it, it actually serves a very critical and important purpose in the entire strategy. It's really important to continue doing those types of videos and to also experiment and explore different types of videos that might work, might not work. But on a surface level, you can't really tell it just by glancing at the channel.
Yeah. And I think also with just the rise of AI and different AI channels, I think that some of this more life-like vlog kind of content, I think it really resonates with people. I've actually had AI channels stealing my shopping vlog content. A friend of mine also does handbag videos, and she's like, yo, they're like taking it's like me in the Coach store and stuff.
Oh,
And
just like clips of yours.
yeah, taking my content and like creating AI videos because AI cannot go to the mall and shop. AI doesn't have skin and pores and wrinkles, and they can't perform a wear test. You can get things out of AI and AI can help you create the content. But I really think that having some of that content that is a little bit more lifelike, that they're coming along and shopping with you, that's hard for a lot of other people to recreate. And I think it also kind of like helps some creators really stand out amongst the crowd.
When we're talking about your business, one of the things I love is that you are very business oriented and it's not just about the views and churning out content. When we look at your overall business as a whole, can you break it down for us? What percentage of your overall income comes from each different revenue stream?
My business, at least for now, is mostly affiliate sales. It's about 80% affiliate sales.
Wow.
All I do is talk about products, review products. It is predominantly affiliate sales. And then it's pretty like evenly split. It goes 10% from AdSense
Mm-hmm.
and then about 10% sponsorships. I don't really do a ton of sponsorships on my channel. I only work with a couple of very key brands because I have a very strict checklist of things that like need to be true in order to work with brands. So that's basically the breakdown. And I would say I have a newsletter and I do the live streams, but when you take a look at those, like the what's driving the revenue is the affiliate sales, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make a lot of money off of my membership fees. Like there's only so many people in the membership. A lot of that I'm just reinvesting into the community because at the end of the day, it's about building, you know, that trust and authenticity to have loyal customers that shop through my links and really trust my recommendations.
Yeah. Even though you don't do the brand deals per se, you do have a lot of relationships with brands, which I think it's like invaluable to you, your channel, and your viewers, right? Because
Yeah.
even though there's not quote unquote like brand deals, which, you know, would be like, here's a certain amount of money, now create a video for this.
Yeah.
You're still working with the brands because they on their end are seeing how much product you're really selling through those links. And then you have the relationship with them by getting the product, by getting a bag, promo codes and things like that. How does that fit into your overall strategy?
I know you've said this to me before. Like, I think it's very clear that I don't care what the brands think. I really do not care about getting free things. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to talk about the products I want to talk about. I need to own all of my own data. I am not here to pander to the brands. And I'm so okay with walking away from a deal because at the end of the day, the rest of my business is doing fine. And I owe so much more to the viewer than I do to like this person at the brand.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, like I love to work with brands because I love their products. And I do like to know, I do want to be at the forefront of like, what are you launching this season? What are you promoting? Because that's what my viewer is going to be interested in is like that new hot bag or the new products that are coming out. I'm on a budget too. I can't afford everything. So it is incredibly helpful from a budgeting perspective if I can get the products gifted to me, or if I can receive them early so that I have more time to test them for my audience, pitch them ideas. I want to do more creative things. Like, I don't want to do like a integration in a video. I want to like fly to another country and go to your flagship and meet your artisan that makes the bag.
Which you've
Like,
done.
yeah, I will fly. I tell them, I'm like, I will go anywhere. Like, there's 2 airports right here. I
Yeah.
have no problem. And they don't pay for anything or whatever. But for me, it's like, I want to differentiate myself. I want to make like the coolest, most engaging, most entertaining, interesting content for my viewer out there. That's what I'm interested in. Like, I'm building these relationships because I want to create more interesting videos, but it does sometimes take time for these brands to warm up to it because they're just like they're just like so set in doing things in like their own way, and like they have their budget and they have bosses that are overseeing what they're doing, and in order to like do something more creative, sometimes it can be a lot for them. So I pitch them all kinds of things. They just don't always bite. And it's usually those smaller brands where you're doing one-on-one with like the founder or the designer who's, yeah, let's do that because we're cut from the same cloth. Like they're an entrepreneur as well. So those are the brands that I'm usually like drawn the most to. I'm always I'm always reaching out being like, can you give my viewer a discount? Can you get me a code? Can you give me the dates of your sale so I can give it to her early so she can budget? I'm always like,
you're always hustling the brand for your viewer. Like, you always are. I love that about you. I always say, you don't give an F what those brands think.
I don't care. Like, what if they say no? I don't care. I'm not like embarrassed. Like, whatever. Just be like, can you give me this? Oh no. Okay, can you give me this? Can you give me this? And the thing I care about the least is like a creative fee, you know, for like reading an ad. It doesn't really like amount to that much when you take a look at like the way your business is going to grow over time. It's much better to like have the product, be able to talk about the product a million times, like maybe get a slightly better rate, get a good deal of price for your viewer than for me to get paid for an ad or whatever. It's just kind of like I have a longer term thinking when it comes to brands. When I think about like how I want to spend my time and how I would like to grow my business, it's not doing more brand deals. It's not launching makeup or something like that. I would love to be a consultant to brands or a consultant to the tech products that I use on a regular basis, or work directly with YouTube and ShopMy and those types of things. I'm more interested in those behind the scenes things and the products and the tech and the strategy there than I am just like getting another brand deal for my video. You know, it's just more interesting to me.
You do a great job with what are the types of content and experiences that you can bring to the viewer that other people aren't doing. But I think I was just showing before that video you did with the brand. You went to headquarters and interviewed her. And when you went to Europe, I was trying to find that video where you went to Europe and went to all the different stores there. You definitely go above and beyond. And you're committed to this niche. You're committed to these people. You're committed to these viewers. And I feel like your viewers like truly appreciate that and they understand that. My question to you is, what do you think is happening in the beauty space, in the handbag space?
I think in general, the flavor in 2020 and 2021 was very buy everything. This is the newest thing. Luxury became almost like fast fashion. A lot of people had more disposable income. They were not traveling. They had extra cash because of all the other things they weren't spending money on during that time. And I think a lot more people were into luxury and a lot more people were into makeup, and it's specifically new releases and new drops. There were so many collaborations. It was like every single week there was a new collection. It was just absolute mayhem. And I think a lot of people overspent and overconsumed. And now what we're seeing in the market is a retraction from that. And this is both in beauty and also in the luxury space. In beauty, I think there's this sense that like no one's watching, no one's interested, no one's buying, No, I think that they are. They're just being more discerning about what they're spending their money on. And so for me, as somebody who focuses on higher end cosmetics, like that customer, she's still buying makeup. She's not buying like every little thing that comes out, but she's buying makeup. So that's an opportunity for me to be the thought leader there. I don't see it as a setback. I see it as an opportunity. And so I think what's happened in the beauty community is that people are not as interested in all these new release videos. They look at the video. If they're not interested in that product or if they don't have the budget for it that week, they don't click on the video. That's the problem. There's no reason for them to click on your video because that's not a brand or product that they care about. And so that has led to a huge decrease in views. So I think that the beauty creator, whether they're doing it or they're not doing it, like I think what beauty creators need to do is really think about like creating more evergreen videos. It's not that you can't talk about new products and nobody's buying, but I think that you serve your viewer better by talking about the same products over and over while introducing new ones and talking about if those new products dethrone the ones that you think are the best of the best. I think people have gotten exhausted with this content where we're just talking about all the new things. It's not just about, it's yes, she does want to know about the new things, but she's interested in the new things in the context of what she already owns and what is already on her wish list. I think sometimes people, they make beauty creators to sound like they are not authentic or they're just pushing product and stuff. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just that a lot of creators, they're not spending enough time being thoughtful about the content that they're presenting. It's not organized enough. I don't think it's entertaining enough. And it's like, hey, I just bought all this stuff. Let's talk about it. Well, like, let's press pause for a second. Like, she doesn't want to just know what you think about that, having just put it on your face for a second. Like, she's coming to you for this, like, debrief on, like, what's truly worth it. At the end of the day, those extremes of worth it, not worth it, and compartmentalizing where the product should be, that's entertaining. That's like something that you see in so many other niches. So there is something kind of like, I like chatty, relaxing videos as well. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a very niche viewer. That's not every viewer. Like I'll sit through an hour long, like chatty, get ready with me and that kind of stuff. There's a time and place for that. But I think that there are people who are interested, but I don't necessarily see the creator space. I don't see the niche evolving quickly enough to the viewer's taste. Now on the handbag side or on like the fashion luxury side, people just can't afford these things. So much of the content on YouTube was about what was the new luxury bag. Logos were very prevalent. We went through this like streetwear phenomenon, a lot of like flashy clothes and those types of things. And then what we saw is that the economy, once again, it kind of like retreated to this more discerning focus on classics, and quiet luxury became the trend. Oh, I don't do logos. Part of it is because like people get tired of it, but part of it is because like people just can't afford it. So they go back to like what's going to be more a timeless investment, which again, that's an opportunity for creators who are out there. And obviously, if you love luxury and you're not really into like mid-range things, then don't talk about mid-range. Talk about what you're interested in. We have seen this boom now of mid-range brands that are creating these beautiful artisanal products. And a lot of people are not talking about them. I know Coach is very big. It's having a moment right now, but there are so many brands out there that are making really beautiful products. And I don't really see a lot of creators focusing on this mid-range accessible space. Like you've got these luxury people talking about luxury, and then it's like Amazon and Walmart. And then in between, there's not enough creators to satisfy this woman who doesn't feel like she fits in either of those buckets and is a very, like, she has money to spend, like, she wants to buy nice things. And so that is the person that I'm catering to.
And I want to clarify for people, even though you cover handbags, they're not necessarily luxury handbags. They're a
Oh, yeah.
different category called mid-range handbags. And I
Yes.
do think what you're getting at is the right time, right place. These mid-range handbags are popular out there. There aren't a lot of creators touching on them on YouTube, but you happen to do it and people are resonating. And it so happens to be also the same people that really enjoy the makeup content. So it's a win-win for you.
And kind of going off of what I was saying earlier, like you need to pick things that that existing audience is going to resonate with, because I like luxury bags. I have a luxury handbag collection that I've been collecting bags for a long time now. I love vintage bags and those types of things as well. And I try to talk about that stuff on my channel because I was like, oh, they like luxury makeup. They're going to like everything luxury. But that's actually not really the case. Like the luxury makeup lover doesn't buy Chanel bags. There's obviously some that do, but most people are not shopping at luxury stores. They're interested in more of that mid range price point. So I was like, okay, I like mid-range bags as well. I love all handbags. I intentionally stopped talking about luxury bags because it would just completely go over their head. They're not watching the runway shows. Like they're not really like in, and that's fine. Most people don't, it's like a thing. And like most people aren't buying those things. So I was like, okay, I need to focus on something that is more accessible. It's not always about me. It's about her and what she's budgeting for. And where I can come in is say, hey, listen, I watch all the runway shows. I know what luxury quality feels like because I've invested my own money in a lot of brands. I've done a lot of research. I know the trends. I'm coming to you with knowledge of like what's on trend. I did the work so you don't have to. And I can tell you, like, I think that this $500 bag is really good quality based on when I'm comparing it to like my $5,000 bags.
And people like that knowledge that you actually have that understanding. So going back to beauty, as we wrap things up, what would you tell somebody who has a beauty channel right now or wants to get started in the beauty community on YouTube, or maybe even the handbags in either one of these spaces? What would you tell them?
I would say spend a lot of time doing your recon and research to see what types of videos and topics are performing above average. Don't focus so much on what other creators in the niche are doing. Don't just copy the same formats as everybody else. Really create a dummy account on YouTube where you can basically create your own research algorithm. Look up those topics and keywords and things that are within your niche and take a look like what's the most views that somebody got on this kind of video. Go and find the videos that are performing above average for a creator. Let's say the creator has 50,000 subscribers, but they have one video that got 100,000 views or like a lot of views. Screenshot that video and make a Google Doc and paste all those videos on there and see if you can identify trends in the thumbnail, in the title, the topics. Sometimes you will be shocked how similar these things are. And once you start doing this, you will also identify which of the creators on in your niche are also doing this, because it'll be really clear who is being strategic. Like it's become very clear to me who's doing their research in my niche, because I'm like, oh, I see what you did with that title, or I see what you're doing with this like similar thumbnail, or you repeat this title every so often. I think once you really drill down into that like recon and research, you start to think about your content a lot differently. You can make a good video. Like it's making the video is often not the hardest part. It's like finding the topic, title, and thumbnail that's clickable enough to get you that boost, because when you're small, that's what you need. You need something that like people will click on. They don't care about you. Nobody cares about you. They're coming for entertainment. If you disappear tomorrow, they probably don't care. Like, I know that sounds like super brutal, but it's like they don't know who you are. They don't care about your day. They don't care about, oh, this and that. Like, get into the video. Stop telling your life story Like pick something that if nobody knew who you were, they would click on it and they would keep watching past the 30-minute mark. That's my
The
biggest advice.
30-second mark. That's massive. And I think it's really good advice. It's that strategy of looking and seeing what else is happening, doing that research. However, you want to mix it with your own intuition and also have a little bit of freedom to play. The idea of going outside of your bubble and doing a handbag video or doing something a little bit different. Or maybe when we did that vlog that did really well, it's super valuable to research, like what you said. And I think there's a whole bunch of people out there that just aren't doing that type of strategic research. But then what I see happening, and I know you see this too, because we talk about this, is like it gets only into that research and recon.
Yeah, it's like every video is the same thing.
And then there's no creativity. And then the creator themselves gets bored. So it
feels very formulaic.
Yes. So it's that nice balance of using your intuition and like experimenting and playing, but also being strategic. I think you do a really good job with doing both of those, whether you realize it or not. Last question is, so for somebody that's thinking about, say, because you started off working with me in the boot camp, right? So somebody that's maybe thinking about joining a boot camp, the group coaching program, or even one-on-one coaching, what would you tell them?
I would say do it and stop like procrastinating. Like so many people tell me, oh, like I really should do that. I really should do that. It's like, okay, well, if you're really serious, you would have done it already. And then when you say that to them, they're like, oh, like maybe I should, maybe I should do it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people, I meet so many people daily who are like, oh, like I've really been thinking about making content. Okay, do it. But also like signing up for something, it's not going to like automatically make you successful. It's like the time that you put into it, obviously. But if you sign up for something and you pay for it and it gives you kind of that like framework, and maybe you need a little bit more like discipline in your life to kind of make you show up every day to watch a course or show up to a call, makes me show up. I know I'm going to do it. I want to do it. I enjoy doing it, but sometimes you just need that motivation. I think signing up for those types of programs it is really great for that. And I'm also super grateful for anybody who's thinking about it. I'm really grateful for like the connections that I've made with the other women in the boot camp. If you invest time like showing up to the calls and like reaching out to the other women, you will find value from it. And those types of relationships are just so invaluable. It's when you go to like college or you get your MBA or whatever, and you get all of those connections, right? You're paying into that ecosystem and that community as well. So I think you need to think about that also when you're like budgeting for these types of programs. I think that's like a really big value add.
Yeah, I love it when I get pictures. You've sent them to me, and I've had other boot campers send me photos at the different YouTube events, and I'm not there. Look, we're all here together. I'm like, oh, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a bunch of you guys in New York and a bunch of, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. So I love seeing
to
that.
show up to events and like, you know, people, you know, their face or you've talked to them before. So yeah, it's awesome. I love all the people that I've met through the program.
Well, awesome, Sophia. Well, thank you so much. I mean, we talked about so much, and I knew that this was going to be a great discussion. So for people
I'm very chatty.
well, we both are, right? But I know you have a lot to say about a lot of different things about YouTube. So I wanted to make sure we got through everything. So for people that are not familiar with you and your channel, I mean, hopefully by now, but where can they find you if they want to go look you up?
Just Sophia Sees Beauty, SOFIA Sees Beauty. I'm on YouTube and Instagram, and I have a newsletter. So just search Sophia Sees Beauty and you'll find me.
Amazing. Awesome. Thanks, Sophia.
Thank you. Have an awesome time.
Bye.